This is a site visited by very few people, never before filmed for the general public. This is a site sacred to the Jawoyn people, and we're lucky enough today to be shown around here by its traditional owners. Welcome to Centipede Dreaming. Last time we visited the Nitmiluk Gorges, the Katherine River was in heavy flood, making a boat trip upstream a thrilling challenge. That was a trip in which our Jawoyn guide entertained us with a rendition from his didgeridoo, where giant freshwater crocs lined the shores, along with agile wallabies, blue-faced honeyeaters, and blue-winged kookaburras. In that trip, we made some new friends, elders of the Jawoyn people and their families who travel long distances to meet us. It was a friendship that we all respected, so much so the Jawoyn people have invited me back to visit some other parts of their territory never before filmed for the public. They've turned on a helicopter and its traditional owner, Gary Mumballo, in the rear seat. We're flying over the dry interior of Arnhem Land, over the lush waterways of Kakadu, into the valleys of the upper Katherine River to Gary's traditional homeland. It's so remote, Gary himself has to travel here by helicopter, a valley that has been owned by his family and passed down from father to eldest son for thousands of years. Touching down in this, the valley the Jawoyn people know as Centipede Dreaming, Gary and I set out on foot to explore all of its fascinating sights. All right, Gary, so where are we?
Centipede Dreaming. As you can see, you got your waterfall that drops down.
This site's very special to you.
Yeah, it's really special for me, my family. What I like to do, I like to probably bring my kids down to recognize this place, to learn about my father country, so they can pass it on to their kids.
So Gary, how old were you when you first came here?
11-year-old.
11. And now what about your father? How old were you when he died?
Around about in his 60s, I think. Yeah.
Now, because he was the traditional owner.
He was a traditional owner for this country, running through here. He walked around here.
And when he died, the position of traditional owner automatically passed to you.
Passed it on to me.
The eldest son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, as the traditional owner, you're the custodian of all the knowledge of this particular wonderful piece of country.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about it? What can you tell us about Centipede Dreaming?
You got waterfall, the hills, the rock, you know. It's really lovely out here.
This is your backyard. These spectacular gorges are all yours.
Beautiful country.
How's it feel, owning a valley, a gorge like this?
It's wonderful to be here, be honored to my father country.
Our trip comes at the end of the dry season, allowing us to appreciate the massive variations in water flow. Gary, we're coming to the end of the dry season. How long is it since it's rained?
6 months. Right.
6 months without water, and we're reduced to this trickle.
Yeah.
Beautiful, of course, now in the dry season. How is it in the wet season?
Water will just, you know, just come down and just flowing through here pretty fast, you know.
Fast and big, all this valley.
Yeah.
In fact, we'd be underwater right now.
Underwater, yeah.
This site also has a significant amount of rock art that Gary is keen to show me. What do we got, Gary?
You got mimi growing here.
What exactly is the mimi?
It's the ancestor for Aboriginal people that go back in the time, back 2,000 years ago, go back and do painting, repaint the paintings again, make it colourful. What they use is kangaroo fat, oil, kangaroo oil.
It always amazes me that that could be, as you say, 2,000 years old or older.
Yeah, and one up here, another, this is a female mimi. It's a female.
But it's just not an outline of a human figure. There's some intricate...
Bone, yeah.
You'd say that's the rib cage.
Yeah, rib cage and thing.
So Gary, no matter where we go along here, we're finding different art forms, the stickman here, the hands and boomerang up there, all different styles.
Yeah, different styles. I love to build a house up here for my kids and bring the tourism, you know. I love the tourists come here and see my country as well, you know.
What a wonderful backyard. This is yours.
That's it, yeah.
We leave Centipede Dreaming and its traditional owner to discover still more of Jawoyn territory. This time we're meeting another traditional owner from the Jawoyn people, John Dewar. Now John is custodian of not only an impressive collection of rock art he'll show me shortly, but also a fascinating stockpile of animal bones.
Righto, what have we got here?
Kangaroo bone.
Kangaroo bones, wallabies really big around here.
Really big one.
Now they're not white.
No, red. They're white, but they're rubber on grinding.
So these would be painting sticks.
Yeah.
They'd use the bones of the wallabies, dip them in red ochre and then daub them all over these rocks to come up with these wonderful bits of rock art.
Like that.
And not only the skeleton bones, but we're seeing jaws, teeth.
That's the animal, right? Kangaroo.
And what on earth is this? It's obviously man-made.
Yeah, that's for the people paint that for make initiation like that.
So show me what would have happened here.
Yeah, grinding with a little grinding hole, rock.
And grinding the paint, the ochre,
Yeah.
to make the colour, to make the rock paintings.
Close by, John's rock art galleries.
Now, John, this is like the Sistine Chapel of the Jawoyn territory, because to paint this, the artists would have had to lay on their backs almost. It's such an uncomfortable position. Would you do that?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make it wrong.
Too much like hard work, is it?
Yeah.
The fact that Gary and John have shown us their sacred sites is very significant. Just as non-Indigenous Australians are saying sorry for past actions, the Jawoyn people in turn are extending a hand of friendship back to us. When next we travel Oz, sailing to Australia's Antarctic territory. Pods of killer whales leaping high out of the water in spectacular formations as they hunt for Antarctic herring. Our first iceberg, cutting through thick pack ice and reaching Commonwealth Bay, home of the Blizzard and Mawson's Hut. Also Mission Beach, the two Tims show us its secrets. And back to the Cocos Islands, swimming with friendly dugongs and raising colourful clams.
And that is this episode of Travel Oz. I'm Greg Grainger.
Happy travels! Travel Oz!